Imagine this. You're in a relationship or simply interacting with a woman you admire, and yet things seem to go wrong without you understanding why. Every word, every action seems to strike a nerve, and before you know it, misunderstandings take over. Why? Because you're blind to the subtle truths, the hidden vulnerabilities, the unspoken weaknesses that every woman carries. Today, we're diving into a topic that most men overlook, but desperately need to understand. Female weaknesses every man must know. If you're someone who wants to strengthen your relationships, become emotionally intelligent, and understand women on a deeper level, this video is for you. Stick around to the end because what you'll learn today could change not only how you interact with women, but how they see you as a man. Before we start, if you're serious about growth and self-awareness, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. You'll find powerful insights here every week, and you don't want to miss out. Let's get straight into it. Understanding these weaknesses isn't about exploiting them. It's about building trust, empathy, and deeper connections. Let's explore the most important truths every man must know. 1. Emotional sensitivity. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where you said something in passing, something you thought was no big deal, only to see her face fall, her mood shift, or even tears start to well up? You stood there confused, thinking, what just happened? Here's the truth most men don't realize. Women are naturally more emotionally sensitive than men. This isn't a flaw. In fact, it's a strength that allows them to form deep emotional connections, empathize with others, and navigate relationships with care. But this strength comes with a vulnerability, a side of her that, if misunderstood or dismissed, can lead to emotional pain that cuts deeper than you might ever imagine. When a woman opens up to you, whether it's about her fears, her insecurities, or something that's bothering her, she's exposing that sensitive side of her heart. Now, here's where most men go wrong. They think being dismissive or rationalizing her feelings will fix the situation. Wrong. Imagine this. You're standing on thin ice, and every word, every action is a step forward. If you tread too heavily, say the wrong thing, brush her feelings aside, or worse, criticize her vulnerability, you risk breaking that ice, sending the relationship plunging into icy waters. Here's the extreme reality. Women feel criticism and rejection much more deeply than you might realize. A sarcastic comment or a dismissive tone that you think is harmless might linger in her mind for hours, even days. And here's the kicker. Many won't tell you. They'll hide that hurt, overthink every word you said, and question whether you truly understand or care about them. That's how emotional sensitivity works. It amplifies both the good and the bad. So what can you do? Learn to approach every conversation with empathy. Instead of shutting her down during an argument or invalidating her emotions with phrases like, "Why are you overreacting?" or "It's not that big of a deal," pause. Really listen to her. Acknowledge her feelings. Say something like, "I see why this upset you," or "I understand how you feel, and I want to work through this with you." These simple yet powerful phrases can turn what could have been a moment of disconnect into a moment of connection. Here's a tip to take this to an even higher level. When she's upset or sharing something deeply personal, your body language matters. Look her in the eye, lean in slightly, and show that you're fully present. Don't glance at your phone, don't interrupt. Just let her feel like she's being heard. This is how you transform her emotional sensitivity from a potential weakness into a bond that strengthens your relationship. The bottom line: emotional sensitivity isn't something to avoid or fear. It's a gateway to understanding her deeper needs. When you validate her emotions and respond with empathy, you're not just addressing her feelings. you're showing her that you're a man who truly gets her. And that, my friend, is rare. Most men never figure this out. Don't be most men. 2. Fear of judgment. Let's talk about something that's a silent, constant battle for most women, the fear of judgment. Imagine waking up every day knowing that almost everything about you, how you look, how you act, the choices you make, is going to be scrutinized by the world. Whether it's the media setting impossible beauty standards, social circles dissecting her decisions, or society at large dictating what's acceptable for a woman, the weight of judgment is relentless. And here's the extreme part: it doesn't stop. Think about it. A woman might hesitate before posting a photo, worrying if she looks good enough. She might overanalyze her career decisions, wondering if people will think she's too ambitious or not ambitious enough. Even her past, things she can't change, is often held against her in ways most men never have to experience. This constant judgment creates a cycle of doubt and insecurity, and it's exhausting. Now here's where you come in. If you truly want to stand out as a man who understands women, this is your moment. Most men contribute to this fear without even realizing it. They pass casual comments on her appearance, question her choices, or bring up her past as if it defines her. But a man who creates a space free from judgment, that man becomes a refuge, a safe haven in a world that feels anything but safe. Let me give you an example. Let's say she opens up to you about a mistake she made in the past, something she regrets and feels ashamed of. Most men would either downplay it, make her feel guilty, or worse, use it against her later. But here's what a man who truly understands would do. He'd listen without interrupting, without judging, and simply say, "Your past doesn't define you. I see who you are now, and that's what matters." Do you know how rare that is? For a woman who's used to being judged at every turn, that moment is like breathing fresh air after years of suffocation. This fear of judgment isn't just about her past or appearance, it's about her choices too. Maybe she's pursuing a career that's unconventional, or maybe she's deciding to stay home and prioritize her family. Either way, society is going to have something to say about it. And as her partner, friend, or confidant, your role is to support her, not critique her. Instead of saying, "Are you sure that's the right decision?" say, "If this is what you believe in, I support you." That one sentence can mean the world to her, because for once, she doesn't have to defend herself. Here's something extreme to think about. Women don't fear judgment because they're insecure or weak. They fear it because they've experienced it so deeply, so frequently, that it's become part of their reality. You can't erase society's judgment, but you can be the one person who offers her unconditional acceptance. And that's not just powerful, that's life-changing. Remember this: she's not looking for perfection in herself or in you. She's looking for acceptance, for someone who sees her for who she truly is, flaws and all, and still stands by her. If you can give her that, you'll be someone she trusts completely, someone she values in a way that goes beyond words. The world judges her enough. Don't be another voice in that crowd. Be the man who silences the noise and makes her feel seen, heard, and accepted. That's how you not only earn her respect, but her loyalty and love as well. 3. Overthinking and self-doubt. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where a woman keeps bringing up the same conversation, analyzing every little detail, replaying it over and over, asking questions like, "Do you think I said the wrong thing?" Or, "What if they misunderstood me?" To you, it might seem unnecessary, even exhausting. But to her, it's not just overthinking. It's a reflection of how deeply she cares. Let's break this down. Many women tend to overanalyze situations, not because they're unsure of their worth, but because they invest so much of themselves into their relationships and decisions. Every word, every gesture, every interaction holds meaning to them. When something feels off, even slightly, it's like an alarm goes off in their minds. They're not trying to be dramatic or difficult. They're trying to process, understand, and fix whatever is bothering them. Now here's where most men fail. Instead of recognizing this as a sign of how much she cares, they dismiss it as too much or unnecessary. They'll say things like, "You're overthinking it," or "It's not a big deal, just let it go." Let me tell you, those words can do more harm than you realize. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, desperately looking for someone to hold your hand, and instead they pull away, leaving you to balance on your own. That's what it feels like to her when you dismiss her overthinking. Here's the extreme truth. Overthinking isn't just a habit for many women. It's a way of protecting themselves. It's their mind's way of preparing for worst-case scenarios, of trying to ensure they don't hurt anyone or make mistakes. It's exhausting for them too. So when you step in with judgment or indifference, it only deepens their self-doubt. What she truly needs in those moments is reassurance. Not answers, not solutions, just a calm presence that tells her, "It's okay, I'm here." For example, if she's replaying a conversation she had at work, instead of saying, "Why do you care so much?" say, "I can see why this is bothering you. You handled it the best you could." Those words, that validation, can instantly take the weight off her shoulders. Sometimes your silence is more powerful than any advice. When she's overthinking, let her talk, let her vent. Don't interrupt. Don't try to fix everything. Just listen. You'd be surprised how much clarity she can find on her own when she feels like she's being heard. Your calm presence in those moments is like a lighthouse in a storm, guiding her back to a place of security and peace. And here's a pro tip. If you truly want to help her, ask gentle questions that guide her toward clarity without adding to her stress. For example, ask, "What outcome are you hoping for?" Or, "What would make you feel better about this situation?" These questions help her focus on solutions rather than spiraling further into doubt. The extreme reality is this: overthinking and self-doubt aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of how much she cares, about you, about others, about the things that matter to her. If you dismiss that, you risk making her feel like her thoughts and emotions don't matter. But if you embrace it, if you show patience and understanding, you become her safe space, a place where she can rest her overactive mind and trust that everything will be okay. So next time you see her caught in a spiral of overthinking, remember this: it's not your job to fix her. It's your job to stand beside her, to offer her the calm and clarity she can't always find on her own. That's how you not only strengthen your connection with her, but also help her see the strength within herself. And that, my friend, is what sets you apart. 4. The need for emotional security. Let's get real for a moment. You might think that buying her gifts, taking her to fancy dinners, or giving her the world on a silver platter is the key to her heart. But here's the hard truth. None of that means anything if she doesn't feel emotionally secure with you. Emotional security isn't just something women want, it's something they crave. It's the foundation of every meaningful connection. Without it, even the most luxurious gestures will feel empty. Think about it. Emotional security means knowing that no matter what happens, you've got her back. It's her feeling safe enough to be vulnerable, to share her fears, her dreams, and even her flaws, without worrying that you'll judge her or walk away. And yet, this is where so many men fall short. They assume that as long as they're physically present or providing for her, she should feel secure. But here's the extreme reality: emotional presence matters more than anything else. Ask yourself this: can she count on you when life gets messy? Not when things are easy, not when everything's going well, but when the storms hit, because that's when emotional security is tested. If she's going through something tough, like a bad day at work, family drama, or self-doubt, and she turns to you, what's your response? Do you dismiss it with, "It'll be fine, don't worry about it"? Or do you lean in and say, "Tell me what's on your mind. I'm here to listen"? The difference between those two responses could make or break the trust she has in you. Here's an extreme perspective to consider. A woman doesn't just want to hear, "I love you." She wants to feel it in your actions, in your consistency, and in your reliability. Words mean nothing if your actions don't back them up. If you tell her you'll be there for her but disappear when she needs you the most, you're not just breaking her trust, you're shattering her sense of security. Emotional security also means showing up for her in the little things. It's noticing when she's unusually quiet and asking, "Is everything okay?" It's remembering the details she shares with you and bringing them up later to show that you were paying attention. It's being present, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. When she's talking to you, are you really listening? Or are you scrolling through your phone, half hearing what she's saying? "Trust me," she notices. And let's not forget the importance of consistency. One of the biggest mistakes men make is being emotionally available only when it's convenient. One day, you're attentive and supportive. The next, you're distant and unresponsive. This inconsistency creates doubt and insecurity, making her wonder if she can truly rely on you. If you want to provide emotional security, you need to show up every day, not just when it suits you. Here's where it gets extreme. If you can be the man who provides emotional security, you'll set yourself apart from almost everyone else in her life. Why? Because most people don't offer that kind of unwavering support. When you show her that she's valued, loved, and prioritized, you're giving her something money can't buy. You're giving her peace of mind, and that's priceless. Remember this: women don't need perfection. They need consistency. They don't need grand gestures. They need your presence. And they don't need you to have all the answers. They need to know you'll be there to face the questions with them. Be the man who makes her feel safe, valued, and loved, not just in the good times, but in the hard times too. If you can offer her emotional security, you're not just earning her loyalty, you're earning her heart in a way that few men ever will. And that's the kind of connection that lasts a lifetime. 5. The desire for appreciation. Let's talk about something that's often overlooked, but it's absolutely critical: appreciation. Women by nature are givers. They pour so much of themselves into their relationships, careers, families, and even friendships, often without expecting anything in return. They take on responsibilities, solve problems, and put others first, sometimes at the cost of their own well-being. And yet, here's the painful truth: they are frequently taken for granted. Imagine this scenario. She's spent her entire day juggling a million things: work deadlines, family obligations, emotional support for those around her. She's exhausted, both mentally and physically, and yet she still finds the energy to prepare your favorite meal or ask about your day. She does it not because she has to, but because she wants to. But what happens when those efforts go unnoticed? When no one even acknowledges the energy, love, and care she's invested? It creates a void. The extreme truth is that a lack of appreciation can eat away at a woman's confidence and happiness. When her efforts are ignored, it sends a silent message: what you do doesn't matter. And over time, this can lead her to feel invisible, unimportant, and even resentful. Here's where you, as a man, have the power to change everything. Showing appreciation isn't about grand gestures or over-the-top praise. It's about the little things that make her feel seen and valued. A simple thank you when she does something thoughtful can go a long way. If she's taken the time to listen to you, support you, or even just be there for you, let her know you noticed. Say, "I really appreciate everything you do for me," or "Thank you for always being there. It means so much to me." Those words might seem small to you, but to her, they can mean the world. And don't just stop at words. Show your appreciation through actions. If she's been working hard, surprise her with something that lightens her load. It doesn't have to be extravagant. Maybe it's helping with a chore she usually handles, or planning a quiet evening where she can relax and unwind. The key is to make her feel like her efforts are not just noticed, but truly valued. Let me make this extreme. A woman who feels unappreciated can slowly lose herself. She might start to question her worth, wondering why she even bothers when no one seems to care. This can create distance, not just emotionally but also physically. But when you make her feel appreciated, you ignite something powerful within her, a sense of purpose, confidence, and joy. She'll feel seen, cherished, and respected, and that will strengthen your bond in ways you can't imagine. Appreciation also deepens trust. When she knows you notice the sacrifices she makes, she'll feel safer opening up to you, sharing her dreams, and leaning on you during tough times. It builds a connection that goes beyond the surface, a connection rooted in respect and mutual gratitude. Here's a pro tip. Be specific with your appreciation. Instead of saying, "You're amazing," say, "I noticed how much effort you put into planning that event. It turned out incredible. You really made a difference." Specificity shows that you're paying attention, and it makes your gratitude feel authentic and meaningful. The extreme reality is this: gratitude isn't just a nice gesture, it's a necessity. It's the difference between a relationship that thrives and one that slowly deteriorates. A woman who feels appreciated will move mountains for you. She'll stand by you through thick and thin because she knows her efforts matter. But if you neglect this simple yet powerful act of appreciation, you risk losing her emotionally, even if she's still physically there. So don't underestimate the power of gratitude. Take the time to notice her efforts, acknowledge them, and show her that you value everything she does. Because when a woman feels appreciated, she doesn't just give more, she gives you her heart, her trust, and her unwavering loyalty. And that's something no amount of money or material gestures could ever replace. As we conclude, understanding these truths isn't just about women, it's about you becoming a more aware, emotionally intelligent, and compassionate person. When you recognize these vulnerabilities and respond with strength and kindness, you don't just build better relationships, you grow as a human being. If this video gave you a new perspective, hit the like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Don't forget to subscribe for more life-changing insights every week. Remember, knowledge is power, and applying it is transformation. See you in the next video.